It's the number one spot. Remember that. It's the number one spot. Remember that. It's the number one spot. Remember that. If you at the number two, nobody remember you. It's the number one spot.
What's up, world? It's your girl, Rich Love from richlovesociety.com. And today, on the number one spot, we have the masterpiece with Fred Lee. Today, he's going to be giving his inspirational, motivational testimonial of his three-part trilogy, Past, Now, and What's Next. Make sure that you stay tuned for all that's coming up next on the number one spot. What's up, world? It's your girl, Rich Love, and I'm here as a guest host on the number one spot. I know you know all about them, and I just had to come on to talk to Fred Lee. How are you doing today?
I'm all right.
I am
Thank
so
you for asking.
blessed to be here with you. I heard about your story, and Rich Love Society is all about inspiration, motivation, and testimonies, and I know you have a testimony that's going to make a difference in people's lives. So tell me a little bit about you.
Well, as you say, my name's Fred Lee. 37 years old, straight from Houston, the southeast side of Houston.
H-Town.
H-Town. I gotta send a shout out to the school I graduated from, which was Worthing High School back in '99. I am a upcoming author. I am a person that lives life in the best way possible, to the fullest, and enjoys
what
it.
created that journey for you? Let's go back a little bit to your childhood. What were you like growing up? If someone was to say, oh, Fred Lee, man, what would be the rest of that sentence?
He's a cool, calm, collected, crazy guy.
Crazy.
Yeah, I was a little bit
Elaborate.
of a beast. I was a little bit of a beast growing up. I put it to you like this. I went to 6 different elementary schools and my family only moved once.
What?
Yeah,
Why?
I was bad. Don't play well with others. I always been pretty smart. I like learning, so being smart wasn't an issue. I gravitate to learning different things. But I was just bad, you know, when you're like this tall in elementary school and kids picking on you, and you gotta learn to defend yourself. And I learned how to defend myself at an early age, courtesy of a bully. Yeah, I got bullied too.
You got bullied.
Yeah, I was a victim of being bullied.
That's a huge issue now. So what can you tell other people that are maybe being bullied now? Because you know, with social media, everything is, you know, it's made so much larger. So maybe back then there wasn't television, there wasn't World Star.
Nah, ain't no such thing as that.
You know,
that was back in the 80s, so it wasn't
what would you
wasn't
tell
none of that.
somebody that might be going through that right now? Definitely don't fight, right? Don't fight.
Well, that was gonna be my initial response. Hey, that bully didn't bully me no more.
Right?
That was gonna be my initial response, but I would have to say take it seriously. You know, like if you got somebody that's being bullied, like that's no joke. You know, I actually went home and told my father, and I don't think I need to tell everybody, you know, what Dad told me and what I went back and did. I just know I didn't get bullied no more. But it was big back in the 80s. I know it's big now. And sometimes when I see that, I look at it, I kind of shake my head, because I know what that feeling is like, to go home and have to, you know, deal with that. I can't say I know what that feeling is like the next day at school, having to deal with it, because I dealt with it one time.
Right.
One time only.
So you grew up on this side of town. What side is this side? Where
Southeast of the Astrodome, 610 and MLK, 610 in Cullen, Sunnyside.
So is this
Robinson edition.
Is this a rough side? What would you tell someone that doesn't know anything? 'Cause our viewers are everywhere. What is this side of town like?
They did a survey on the news probably about 8 years ago. And they said that, it's crazy because they showed a picture of the street I used to ride my bicycle on, which was called Stassin. And then they showed my high school, which was Worthing. And they said that Sunnyside was one of the top 10 worst neighborhoods to grow up in America.
Wow.
And that was, you know, it was something that I didn't think about growing up. I mean,
Because it was just life, right?
yeah, it was just everyday life, normal life. Like, you know, it was like cool, enjoyable for me growing up. I had fun. My childhood was not, it wasn't bad. It wasn't glamorous or nothing like that, but like I can't say that my childhood was bad. I can just say I grew up fast.
Did you have any siblings?
I have one sister, a younger sister, and we're like night and day.
Really?
Oh man, we're like night and day. It used to be like, you know, sis, you stay in the house. You know, my sister was the house lady, and I was the field guy, so to speak.
It's the #1 spot. Remember that. It's the #1 spot. Remember that. It's the #1 spot. Remember that. If you at the #2, nobody remember you. It's the #1 spot. Remember that. It's the #1 spot. Remember that. It's the #1 spot. Remember that. If you at the #2, nobody remember you. If you ain't at the #1 spot, you at the #2, and nobody remembers #2. Remember that. It's that Q.U.E and that boy Book. That's what's up, making it hot non-stop on that #1 spot. It's that #1 spot. Remember that. It's that.
So I know you said you took on the formation of being definitely not allowing people to bully you.
Yeah.
And you made it known despite size, because you said that played a factor in it.
Yeah.
So what got you into the road and the journey that got you into what happened in 2005?
Well, I was a big sports fan. I played sports. I was actually very, very good. I was a star athlete. I got hit by a car and my little sports career ended. So I decided, you know, sports career ended. I'm gonna go out here and, honestly, I'm gonna go out here and make some money some kind of way. So I decided to sell drugs. I played around with it as a youngster, but played around with it somewhere around like the age of 12. And then around the age of 14, I kind of skyrocketed. After getting hit by that car, I got hit by a car the day after my birthday, so that was a little rough.
Definitely not a good birthday for sure.
Yeah, oh man, my birthday is horrible. At one point in time, I didn't even celebrate my birthday. From losing my godmother on my 18th birthday, got hit by a car the day after my 14th birthday. The same day I got hit, a little 10-year-old boy got hit by a car, and right next door to me in the hospital room, he didn't make it, and I did. So I still tried to play ball after that, and I ended up getting
football.
Football. Still tried to play football.
What position?
I played running back, cornerback, punt return, kickoff return, third string quarterback.
So fast and light on your feet, huh?
Super. Oh yeah, super. I ran track too, believe it or not. Played a little baseball. I played basketball, but I go up there and miss a point blank layup, so basketball wasn't my thing. I just go out there for the exercise. But you know, after the sports career was over and I catapulted into that whole other area of my world of living a real street life, you know, things happen. You got to accept the consequences of what's going to happen. And in the process of being out there in the streets, after going to jail several times, that was God's sign to slow me down, and it didn't slow me down. So ultimately being shot slowed me down. And once I lost my ability to walk, I can tell it to you like this: if all you can do is look up, you have no choice but to talk to them. You have no choice but to slow down. You can't move around when your legs ain't working and they don't have no wheelchair device for you to move out of this bed. So that's pretty much how that transpired.
Okay, so wow. So you're not able to walk?
No. My ability to walk was taken away from me on June the 14th, 2005.
And tell me a little bit about that day.
I remember it like it was yesterday. Except I can't tell you what I ate for breakfast that morning, but
I can't either.
I know, right? I don't think nobody can do that. But I remember the day starting off, it just had like a weird feeling for that day. The day I almost felt like back when I was back in school, because I got shot when I was like 24. I had just turned 24, maybe a couple of days before that. And so the feeling that I had that whole day was one of those feelings I used to have when I knew I'd have a fight at school. It was like this weird feeling. So, I listened to some Shirley Caesar that morning, which was it was a routine to listen to some gospel music first. And then after I got the gospel music out the way, I was jamming some old rap music or whatever. And I was driving trucks at the time. I picked up a load, and I want to say my load was supposed to have been in, I want to say Florida, but I don't think it was Florida. It was somewhere I was supposed to be that next morning. But I went home, and the Spurs were playing in a championship game, and I drunk me like 6 cases of, not 6 cases, a 6-pack of Budweisers in a bottle, them long neck bottles. I don't drink Budweisers to this day. That was my last time drinking Budweiser. I drank that 6-pack, smoked me a big old fat Bob Marley. I got a phone call, and I thought nothing of it. I was like, oh, cool, I'll come to the park, meet you at the park. And
what was the phone call about?
It was this lady, this chick I hadn't heard from in a while. She used to be my business partner when I was out there, real heavy in the streets. And since I wasn't like extremely heavy in the streets, at the time that I got shot, my brain cells had already said, Fred, it's time to slow down. It's time to slow down and get your life right. Quit smoking these cigarettes. Just
so
get
you
yourself
were already
together.
getting to that path
That transition.
Okay.
Trying to transition myself for the better, I'm steady reading this good book, but like I wasn't applying that knowledge, I was just reading it.
Which most people don't.
Yeah, we do that with everything though. It ain't even just a good book. It's just somebody can tell you how to go get $1 million, and you may look at them and be like, oh man, you just missed out on that.
So it's just human nature and free will. So 2005, I know let's talk a little bit about regret. Because I know people do things, and sometimes, a lot of people say I don't regret anything, but I know that you spoke of something that you would have changed on that day.
On that day, I would not have talked so badly to the female that I talked badly to. I wouldn't have gave her the blues on, telling her to, what are you calling me for? What do you want? What do you need? What we had is over with. I don't want nothing else to do with you. I don't need you now. I didn't need you then. I'll never need you again in my life. You need to find something else better to do. Kick rocks. Basically, I regret talking to her like that. I regret the fact that my first mind told me to take my pistol with me. My first mind told me to take my pistol with me, and I looked at that pistol sitting on the table and was like, I'll be all right. Ain't no big deal.
So was this an altercation? Was it someone you knew? How did this even transpire?
I said I was set up to be robbed and killed by a woman. And, she called me. I thought nothing of it. I was like, yeah, I'll come meet you at the park. Ain't no big deal. And when I get done, my brain said I'll go meet her at the park. When I get done with that situation at the park, I'll come back home and entertain the other 2 ladies that I had coming by.
Oh, so just a PIMP.
Yeah, that's what you want to call
Unofficially,
it. That's what you want to call it. I did have me 2 stripping ladies that were supposed to be coming by that night. But they took too long to show up. So I went to the park. I met up with her. We talked, chopped it up for a minute. Told her I was about to get ready to go. And as I told her I was about to get ready to go, I kind of saw the guys at a distance, but I didn't pay them no mind. And, stuck my key inside the passenger side door of my truck at the time. I only did that because I was listening to NWA CD, and it was F the Police. And so I wanted to change that CD out and put on the old DJ Screw CD. And my CD case happened to be on the passenger side of the door on that ride. And so when I stuck the key in the door, next thing I know is on a dark, hot night, it was a cold steel iron in my head. It told me, don't move, you know what time it is. Get in the truck. I did it. I complied with them. I did exactly what they told me to do. She screamed with a fake scream, took off running. And one of the guys, it was two guys, one of the guys told the other guy to go after the girl or whatever. And so while we in my ride, the dude was on some stuff like, where the money at? And I was like, man, I ain't got no money, broke. The guy was like, no, F that. Chick told us we know you got the money, where the money at? And I was like, man, she lied to you, Opened up my glove compartment, I gave him my little, my checkbooks was in there and my wallet and credit card. He didn't want that. You know what he took from me? He took $30 from me. I had on 2 necklaces, a watch, a ring. Shoot, the watch was the cheapest thing I had on me, and that was worth more than the money I had in my pocket. He didn't want it though, he wanted the money. Anyway, long story short, guy told me, we gonna kill you and dump your body in the bayou as soon as my homeboy come back and ain't nobody gonna find you. And I was like, nah, cause you're not finna kill me right here. Like, well, let me rephrase that. I was like, nah, cause you're not finna kill me, period. You let alone kill me and take me somewhere. My brain said, if you gonna kill me, I'm gonna have to die right here, right now, so that I'm not a cold case, so that my people will be able to locate me. I hadn't talked to my mama and father. My father was overseas in Iraq. Hadn't spoke to my mom in a while. Cousin was on tour in Europe. Hadn't talked to my sister, my nephews. All that went through my mind in like 5 seconds. I took a deep breath, inhaled that old PCP that the guy was on. Knew I was in a battle for my life. They say don't take a knife to a gunfight. Well, I took these 2 hands to that gunfight. And I fought, and I fought, and I fought for what seemed like an eternity.
So how did the shot ultimately happen, and where did it hit you?
In the middle of fighting them, my driver's side door was unlocked. So his homeboy came back and opened up the driver's side door, and he hit me across the head with something. I don't know what he hit me with. Whatever he hit me with, it almost caused me he almost knocked me out with it. But it caused me to lose focus on the guy with the gun and focus on this guy that hit me across the back of my head with whatever he hit me with, because I don't know what he hit me with. When he hit me, when I turned to focus on him, my truck was a single cab. So I don't know if you ever been in a single cab, but single cabs only got one home seat, and there was a stick shift, So when I turned around, my head fell in the guy with the gun's lap. And as it fell in his lap, I kicked the dude to get him up off me. And I felt the gun up here, and of course when I tried to raise up and turn around, boom, went off straight like that.
In your back?
In the back of my neck.
In the back of your neck.
When that gun went off, I sat straight up and I was like, hey man, I'm sorry, I ain't mean to beat y'all up. Whatever you do, cuz, don't shoot me no more. Dude was like,
You think he meant to do that, or you think it was all the commotion that it just happened?
It was designed. I mean, the look in his eyes had one of them looks in them eyes like, I don't care what I gotta do today to get this money, I'm gonna get this money.
So PCP, is that the formaldehyde?
Yeah.
That's what they call wet?
Yep, wet daddy, monkey piss, gorilla piss.
And can you explain to people that may not know, what effect does that have on people?
Makes you Superman. You don't feel nothing. You are the strongest man on this planet, or woman, as far as that stance goes. So after you got shot, explain to me a little bit, because it's a very interesting story as far as you went to the hospital and you said you saw blackness. Tell me a little bit about that experience. Well, after I got shot and was laying on that ground when they pushed me out of that truck. You know, I ain't tell you this part. They couldn't even drive off in my ride.
They couldn't drive a stick?
Couldn't drive 5-speed.
Wow.
Now that is the scariest moment in my life, is when I laid on that ground, realizing that they could not drive this 5-speed, realizing that I could not defend myself anymore because I'm on this ground and cannot move.
And they're still there.
And they're still there. I played dead. I sure did. I played dead until I heard them walking away, and I could hear them state, you know, that one of them felt some pain. Anyway, to answer your question, you know, after the cops showed up and asked me where my gun and my drugs at, and I had to tell them I don't have my gun on me and I don't have no drugs. I work for a living. I pay your salary. I didn't call you no way, because I did call 911, but I called for an ambulance. I reached in my pocket, grabbed my cell phone, called 911. Called my cousin too. Cousin showed up before 911 did, and I called him after I called 911.
Is that kind of the atmosphere in this area?
Yeah, them cops don't care about us, man.
So were they moving quickly, or was it kind of like...
Them cops came there and laughed at me. Told me, you ain't been shot, you hallucinating, you on them drugs. I had internal bleeding. I never bled on the outside. They didn't realize I got shot till the ambulance guy showed up, and he touched me, and I felt his finger touch my bone, and I said, oh man, whatever you do, don't do that no more. And they went into a panic mode at that time. I was still pretty calm. Like, the way I'm talking to you now is the way I was talking to the ambulance guy. And they loaded me up on a little, I guess you call it a gurney. I don't know.
Right.
Put me in the ambulance, and he was like, you know, stay up, don't go to sleep. I told him, I was like, I ain't going to sleep, man. I'm wide awoke. You know, which I was. And all of a sudden, you know, I hear the machine go from, you know, a beep, beep, to like a beep, beep, beep. And then the last thing I remember is him saying, stay with me, we losing them. And I heard it just beep.
So you heard the flat line?
Yeah, heard the flat line on the ambulance ride to the hospital. And
what happened at that moment, if you remember?
I went elsewhere. Like, you don't die, I mean, you die physically, but you don't die spiritually. You're still aware of what's going on. There's no, you know, I guess I could tell you, for me, there was no light at the end of my tunnel. I can't speak for nobody else that didn't claim they had died, but if they tell you they died and they don't remember what happened, they didn't die, because you remember what happened. You know exactly what's going on. And what I entered into was a whole nother realm, a whole nother atmosphere. It was just so dark, you know, it was darker than the darkest night. You take the darkest night and make the moon and the stars disappear, and that's how dark it was. But in the middle of that darkness, at a distance, I could see this figure. I don't know what it was.
Was it a person? Was it?
I don't know. I mean, it wasn't shaped like a man. It wasn't shaped like a woman. It wasn't shaped like an angel with wings. It wasn't shaped like.
So you didn't hear no angels singing and none of that?
There wasn't no welcome home for me. I don't know. It's almost like a tree, I guess. If I had to put it in the sense of a term, I'd say it was a tree, a walking tree that's about 100 feet tall.
And what did it do?
It walked slowly towards me. It didn't walk with a purpose. It didn't walk fastly. It was like just gliding. And I don't even want to say it walked. It was almost like it just floated. And it was almost like I was walking to it at the same time. But somewhere down the line, I wasn't moving. I was now stable, stationary, but the figure was still moving. That figure got to, like, I don't know, maybe within this close of me, where you could reach out and touch it. And instead of reaching out to grab me, it turned around and walked away. The moment that it turned around and walked away, I heard a small, still voice that said, son, I got you. And I'm convinced that was the voice of the good Lord.
Was that the first time you heard?
First time I had ever heard his voice.
Did you believe in God prior to this happening?
Oh yeah, you know, I was a youth usher at church and Sunday school goer, and you know, I strayed away from the church for a small period of time, but I never my belief in God never went anywhere, regardless of what anybody says, anybody tries to do. The one thing they'll never be able to steer me away from is my belief, and I believe in God. I believe that there is a God. Now, I don't care what your God is, but you need to know that there's a God. There is a whole nother sense of higher power that's above us. That's why I believe in God.
Hey, if y'all ain't up on it, man, y'all got to get up on it, man. The #1 spot is definitely not hard to find, man. Hey, we on all social media platforms, man, from Instagram to Facebook to YouTube, man, to LinkedIn, man. Hey, like I said, all you gotta do is Google us, man. That's the #1 spot. That's DANUMBER, the numeral 1 SPOT network. Again, man, that's the #1 spot network. DANUMBER, the numeral 1 SPOT network, man. Hey, man, stay abreast, man, on the latest news, man, and what the #1 spot got going on right now. You know what I'm talking about.
Smoke some, bitch.
I wasn't tripping, you know, I came through. Wasn't no big deal.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I let them do what they had to do.
Man, you know how it is, man. Shit.
Oh
Be like
my
that.
God.
What it is.
I can't believe it. Is it true? Is that a real nigga? Rillo?
Why, yes. This is a real nigga Rillo.
Sir, if you don't mind, may I hit that real nigga Rillo one time? What the hell? How did you get that real nigga Rillo?
It's your whole ass nigga.
So hoe ass nigga.
That's why they real niggerello.
What's up, what's up? What up, this 007, Fifth Ward's finest, you know, Fifth Ward boys, you know what I'm talking about, rap a lot. I'm chilling with the #1 spot, 1.
I'm so glad that you say that. So I want to ask you, you feel that you were targeted by this young lady that set you up. What type of lifestyle were you living prior to this happening? Because I know you said you tried to get out of that and you were trying to go, you know, straight and narrow for the most part. You started working a job and everything. So what were you doing prior?
Prior to working that job,
Right.
I mean, even when I was out there trying to be Nino Brown. For those that don't know, you know, that's a guy off of New Jack City, Wesley Snipes, who, you know, sold big dope. So, you know, even though I was out there in the streets selling my drugs.
What drugs?
I sold weed. Weed was my #1 thing, believe it or not. Weed made a lot of money for me. I sold weed, I sold crack, I learned how to cook it. Sold some PCP, sold heroin. Shit, I'd have sold my body if the price was right.
Really?
Man, I was a hustler. I was out there getting it. Whatever you had, or whatever I had, or whatever, if the price was right, and I knew I could double or even triple that profit, I was buying it. Wasn't nobody fronting me nothing. I got fronted one time. After that,
What created that avenue for you? Why is that something that everyone was doing? Why was that your choice to go that route? Was it the fast money?
Mama gave me $5 a week for lunch. I got tired of, what I'm gonna do with $5 a week for lunch? You know, Mama gave me $5 a week for lunch, and you know, I met one of my homeboys. Like I said, I started at about 12. You know, one of my homeboys, I met him, he showed me the game, and I never looked back. But I will say that at around the age of 18, I kind of fell off a little bit, and I went to see my cousin one morning. It was early one morning, and I was like, You know, cuz was like, what's wrong, Black? Why you here so early, man? What's the problem? What's that? You got that look in your eyes. What you about to go do? And I opened up my trunk and showed him, you know, my little bulletproof vest that my dad had gave me, and you know, a couple of guns, and told him I had a grenade on me too. And he say, "What you about to do with that?" I said, "Man, I'm about to go rob the bank, man. I'm about to go rob Wells Fargo." He said, "What you gonna do with the grenade?" I said, "I'm gonna blow it up, man. If they don't let me up out here, ain't nobody getting up out this bank."
And did you mean that?
I was dead serious about that. I had surveyed the whole bank and everything, man. Right when they was building it up, I was hanging out inside. I know how to draw blueprints, so I can read a blueprint. So I can go into your building, your structure that doesn't have a complete structure. That just got the, you know, you just see the 2x4s and everything. I can literally go in there and know this is the bathroom, this is where this is gonna be at, this is where it's gonna be at. I had a photographic memory of it.
Where were you able to get all these items? What was your father's profession?
My father is a honest, straight dude, man. He worked with the school district, AC repairman. Yeah, he's the best repairman, AC repairman in the city of Houston. You know, but he was in the Army, so of course I got the bulletproof vest from him.
Came from.
But the guns, I got them off the street. And nobody even knew. The idea of robbing the bank?
No, the military.
To blow it up, that was just, I told you I was a little wild and crazy, man, and that's how I lived my life. And I was so set on, if you not getting me up out this bank, I'm gonna blow it up. We all gonna die in this bank today. Like, that ain't no ifs, ands, and buts. Yeah, man, ain't no ifs, ands, and buts about it. I was 18, I was out on my own. I was down on my luck. I had just got out of jail for the first time or whatever, and I watched that movie, Set It Off, one time too many, and I thought I could go rob this bank.
So I know you said heartless with the biggest heart.
That's the best way to describe how I was up until probably about 3 years ago. Sometimes I still suffer from that heartless type of mentality because of, the old saying, you could, take a person out the hood, but you can't take the hood out the person. So, there's still that part of me that's kind of like, please let that make it. Like, don't touch my family, don't touch my dire friends, don't touch my change, But the biggest heart comes from, we had the little ICE going on out here in the city of Houston, and they were trying to get people to go to shelters or whatever. I was told, don't you go out there in that ICE, boy, you gonna crash and kill yourself and blah, blah, blah. I was like, oh, woman, it's gonna be all right. I got in my car, loaded up my car with blankets and clothes and stuff, and every single person I saw on the street just gave them stuff, My heart is huge. I didn't even donate, I gave tons of, I got out the hospital in 05, they dropped those Katrina people off not too far from my house in 05, in like August or September of 05, whatever it was. And when I got out of that hospital and I saw that family out there, me and my cousin went in the room and this was a family of like about 5 to 10. We gave them like 4 or 5 trash bags full of clothes.
That's
some
amazing.
Clothes that hadn't even been worn yet. Shoes,
That's amazing to be a blessing to someone else. And it really goes to show, and I'm so glad that people are tuning in to the #1 spot to see. You just never know what someone has been through. You could look at someone and think you know them, but you don't know their story. So I appreciate you for sharing your story with us, your testimony, because there's other people that have been through something similar and maybe don't feel that they can make a difference and turn their life around. So when we get back, because we got to pay these bills, everybody got bills. When we get back, we're going to talk about how you turned a mess into a masterpiece. What's up, world? It's your girl Rich Love from Rich Love Society, and you have tuned back in to the #1 spot. And we are blessed and honored to have Fred Lee in the building. I know you heard a little bit about his story, But now we're going to get into how someone can go through adversities and turn lemons into lemonade. So I know that you live by, it ain't easy, but it ain't that hard.
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
Tell me
ma'am.
about that.
That's a slogan I developed as I was going through outpatient rehab. And courtesy of that slogan happened from falling. Remember, I told you I was in that wheelchair, can't walk. So falling out the wheelchair, sitting on the ground, and sitting in the ground, and I ain't gonna lie, I was kind of drowning in my sorrow. A tear or two fell down, and I was like, you gotta get up, man, because as long as you sitting down here, like nothing's gonna happen. And you can sit down here all day long and cry and whine and complain, but you still gonna be on the ground. So my brain said, get up off this ground, man. Nobody was there with me to help me that day. And mine said, it ain't gonna be easy to get off this ground, but it ain't gonna be that hard either. And ever since then, whatever I'm dealing with, going through with life, like I say, it ain't easy, but it ain't that hard.
Is that kind of what got you into the motivational speaking?
What got me into that is college. One of my professors, or my counselor, I think his name was Justin, I don't know, I haven't heard from him in a long time. But he was going to go recruit some kids right here at the YMCA, or the Urban League, right here on Griggs. And he knows that I'm from this area, so he asked me, would I mind going up there to speak to the kids? And I told him, yeah, sure, I don't mind, So I went up there, and he was trying to talk to him or whatever. And people on their cell phones, everybody was doing this. I mean, the kids, the parents, everybody, their mama was just,
all day, every day.
While he was giving his speech, ain't nobody even looked up at him. Mm-hmm. And then he called one little guy, and he was like, hey man, what you want to do, with your life? These was teenagers, and the guy was like, oh man, I want to be a professional athlete. I'm gonna go out there, I'm gonna ball harder than Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant. And he was like, what's your plan, after that? He's like, what you mean what my plan is? I'm gonna ball, I'm gonna be rich, take care of my family. And he's like, that's just what you gonna do, right? He's like, yeah, man, ain't nothing else to do. And he said, on that note, I'm gonna bring in my guest speaker, Fred. And so he brought me up there, and I looked around, and they still was on their phones. Everybody was on their phone. And I asked old boy, I was like, so, what were you majoring in school? He was like, I don't know. I say, well, I'm telling you now from experience that all of us don't make it to the pros. You're looking at a person who didn't make it to the pros right now. And the moment that I said that, half of the phones dropped. Not all of them, half of them dropped. And he asked me about what happened. I told him about, the whole getting hit by a car thing or whatever. And as we got to talking a little more, it was something else that I said that just grabbed the whole attention of the room, and everybody went from on their cell phones to putting their phones down. And after that 10-minute conversation with the whole room, one kid ran up on me and was like, man, can I have your phone number? I want to be able to contact you. I'm real good in sports, but I'm bad in school. And I know that I have to have a backup plan, and I ain't trying to be funny or nothing, but like I don't want to end up like you. And I was like, I don't want you to end up like me either. Like I want you to be better than me. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't want you to be caught up in this street life. I don't want you to have nothing to do with this. I don't care if you go to the University of Phoenix or where you go to. I just want you to get an education and have something to fall back on besides sports. And that one kid and another lady approached me. I guess she had a daughter or something that was there, and she wanted my number too. And just those two people there, like when I got in my ride, I've smoked some good drugs in my life, but it was nothing more gratifying or made me feel so high as I felt when I left from there. And I was like, this is what I'm gonna do. And this was in what, 08, 09?
So 3 years after you got shot.
A couple of years after. Because I went and got my degree because I was bored and I had nothing else better to do. Couldn't fly planes no more. But that's what I used to do.
Where did you get your degree in?
I got a Bachelor's of Science in Business Information Systems.
And Fred Lee's Publishing, what is that?
That's my company. That's my.
So you're a businessman too. You just do it all.
Yeah. The name of that company is called Fred Lee's Publishing. My book that I'm dropping is gonna come out underneath that name. So I'm not gonna owe nobody nothing. There ain't no middleman. Ain't no, it's all me. I'm also preparing to write 2 books for 2 people, and there's a 3rd one in the works. But I do ghostwriting too. I love writing. I love it.
How long have you been doing that?
I've been writing since I was about 12. About 12 years old.
What was the first thing you ever wrote? Give me a little snippet. Just a little something.
If I give you the first one, I gotta give you the second one too. The first one I ever wrote was called Love. And mind you, I was 12. I don't know nothing about no love at 12. It said, love is cool, love is fine, love will let you hit it from behind. Love is sweet, love is crunk, love will let you hit it from the front. Love is fly, love is sly, love will let you hit it from the side.
Wow.
It's the very first one that I wrote at 12 years old.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, that came from, there's a whole other part of my life from 8 to 12 that's another day for another story. I didn't tell you that offline. But the next one that I wrote, which is the one that made a little more sense because it was about me. Mind you, I didn't even have a girlfriend when I wrote this, but it said, it was called Me, Fred Lee. And it said, my name is Fred Lee. I am black. I am the one and only Mac. I lose women, but I get more back because my name is Fred Lee and I am black.
Wow.
And that's the trademark poem, actually. That's the poem that gave me the street name Black Mac.
Is that kind of something that you use to take yourself out of the current situation, or how did you use writing? What did that do for you?
It allowed a lot of people to still be alive today.
So you channel some energy into
that? Writing is my outlet. It's it's an outlet. It allows me to be able to channel like all of my energy, all of my thoughts, all of my anything. I can put it in a sheet of paper and like I'm not focusing in on it no more.
So what's the name of your book?
Past, Now, and What's Next.
That's deep.
Yeah.
Especially knowing the backstory.
Volume 1. It's gonna come out in 3 different.
So you
volumes.
gonna do us like that? Have us waiting, creating that buzz, huh?
Yeah, it's gonna come out in 3 different volumes. That's why it's called Past, Now, and What's Next. Right now you're gonna get the past part in Volume 1. Volume 2, you'll get the now part. And then Volume 3, you'll get What's Next.
And what does each volume consist of? What is this, fact, fiction, poetry? What
it's
is
all
it gonna
facts.
be? It's all facts.
It's all facts. Non-fiction. Nothing of this is a story that I created in my brain. What you're gonna get from this book is an autobiography in the form of poetry. You're gonna get the story of my life in the form of poetry. You're gonna get my motivational thoughts in the form of poetry. You're gonna get my prayers, talking to the man upstairs, and everything. I can put it to you like this: any and everything that you want to know about me, maybe even about yourself, you're gonna get in the form of poetry.
What will people feel when they read your book? Or what do you want people to feel? What do you want them to get and grasp?
That they're
from
not
reading
alone.
your words? That they're not alone?
That it's somebody else going through the same thing you're going through and came out of it, and you can come out of it too. That when you feel like you need help from upstairs, you can go to this poem called Lord Help Me, and it's going to tell you exactly. If you don't know how to pray, I wrote prayers for you that you can learn and recite and be able to accomplish whatever you want to accomplish. Like I told one of my homeboys that I'm trying to heal the world through my words.
And I think
you
are. I think you are.
Yeah.
I think that is I feel like that's your mission in life, because just from the little bit of time that I've sat down with you to see someone go through something and then turn around and try and lift other people up when there's so many people tearing everyone down. That is the majority right now. What can you tell someone that is feeling like they're alone? What's the most powerful piece of advice that you could give to someone that just feels like their life isn't worth living and they just feel like they're all by themselves?
That's a good question. Of course, the natural response would be to tell them that you're not alone, but I guess if I wanted to just go really, really deep into what to tell you, if you're feeling like you're alone, you're feeling like, you know, life's over, like you need to give up, you know what you do? You email me, and I'll give you a personal message. Because I can't say a generic message, because the reason that you may feel like life is over because you just broke up with your boyfriend, that's a whole nother situation versus somebody who can't pay their light bill right now, or versus somebody who, you know, just lost their aunt, or somebody who, you know, they
there's so many
on the
people
deep
out here
end.
hurting. There's so many people.
All these different aspects of why you're hurting, they need a different channel to use to let them know that they're not by themselves. I've been there. I lost my auntie. You know, I ain't lost no boyfriend because I ain't never had one of them, and I never will. But I've lost a girlfriend, you know, and that hurt. Oh God, that hurt. And I've been in a situation where it was like, you know, can't pay this light bill, but you know, I kind of take life a little differently. I bought a bunch of candles, so I ain't really care about that light bill too much. But just know that you're never alone. You are never alone because you're never going through it by yourself. You only feel like that because, you know, that's all you seeing in front of you. But if you sit back and you evaluate it and you think about it, it's gonna get better. That goes all the way back to that it ain't easy, but it ain't that hard. Yeah, it's sad, man. This society today, these internet people and
Cyberbullying.
Yeah, oh man, like you could have never cyberbullied me. Back in the gap, man. I don't do the thumb beefing, but the way the world is evolving is just, I'm afraid. Like, I don't have any children, and a part of me is, you know, don't get me wrong, I'd love to have children. I do wish my 2 daughters were still here. God rest their soul, they're not here. But sometimes I think about it and I'm like, I'm glad that y'all not here, because it's crazy out here. I mean, I feel sorry for my nephews, especially my youngest nephew. You know, so I do the best that I can and just, you know, spend as much time with them and be like, hey man, you gotta get your stuff together, brother. You gotta get it, you know, listen to what mama's saying and stop, you know, being such a bad individual in the schoolhouse. Get this education and do what needs to be done, because the streets don't care nothing about you. You know, your uncle's living proof, prime example. You know, so I just want them to get better.
So I know that this is going to change a lot of people's lives. Tell everyone where they can find it, when it's coming out.
The book's gonna be coming out. The book will be here June the 14th, 2018.
And is that day significant?
Yeah, June the 14th, 2005 is the day that I got shot. Lost my ability to walk. And it's crazy because I had a homeboy who, you know, God rest his soul, he died on that day. And I'll never forget that. He came by and he was like, cuz we gonna go out and celebrate the new you. We ain't focused on the old you no more. We ain't focused on, you know, this date of being a day that you lost your ability to walk. This is the day of a new beginning, of a new life for you, new transformation. And when I come back from what I'm going to go do, we're going to go out and have drinks and we're going to party on this new celebration day. Needless to say, he never made it back. But I never forgot what he told me that day. So the reason the book drops that day is because it's a whole new me. It's still the same Fred, but it's a new Fred in the sense of I have a better clarity on life. You know, I have a better understanding on what I'm here for, and I'm just more grateful and humble for that. So you'll be able to pre-order this book through this link that I'm gonna have, but essentially you'll be able to order it either by going to my website, which it'll be completed in about another 2 days. Once that's completed, I'll make sure I pass that information on, or you can, email me at fredleepublishing@gmail.com, or you can dial 832-931-2638, and I'll specially deliver you this book, with an autograph and a picture if you want it.
So what can you tell someone that is feeling like they're alone? What's the most powerful piece of advice that you could give to someone that just feels like their life isn't worth living and they just feel like they're all by themselves?
That's a good question. Of course, the natural response would be to tell them that you're not alone, but I guess if I wanted to just go really, really deep into what to tell you, if you're feeling like you're alone, you're feeling like, life's over, like you need to give up, you know what you do? You email me, and I'll give you a personal message. Because I can't say a generic message, because the reason that you may feel like life is over because you just broke up with your boyfriend, that's a whole nother situation versus somebody who can't pay their light bill right now, or versus somebody who, just lost their aunt, or somebody who, they
there's so
on
many
the
people
deep
out here
end.
hurting. There's so many people.
All these different aspects of why you're hurting, they need a different channel to use to let them know that they're not by themselves. I've been there. I lost my auntie. I ain't lost no boyfriend because I ain't never had one of them, and I never will. But I've lost a girlfriend, and that hurt. Oh God, that hurt. And I've been in a situation where it was like, can't pay this light bill, but I kind of take life a little differently. I bought a bunch of candles, so I ain't really care about that light bill too much. But just know that you're never alone. You are never alone because you're never going through it by yourself. You only feel like that because that's all you seeing in front of you. But if you sit back and you evaluate it and you think about it, it's gonna get better. That goes all the way back to that it ain't easy, but it ain't that hard.
So you have such a giving, kind spirit. I want to ask you, are you glad that you lived?
Yeah. I love my life. I hate that wheelchair, but I love my life. I love my life because it's my life. It was my life that was given to me for me to enjoy it and for me to do what I'm supposed to do, which is let somebody else know that it ain't over. No matter what you're going through, no matter what life throws at you, there was something, what they say, if life throws you lemons, you make lemonade or something. Mm-hmm. Yeah, if life throws you lemons, you make lemonade. Well, shit, tell life to give you some strawberries. Now you can make you some strawberry lemonade.
Yeah.
Or get you some apples. Now you got your strawberry apple lemonade, or whatever fruit you want. You can make you the best lemonade that's better than any kind of lemonade you can go buy at Sonic.
Someone was telling me recently, I was at a book club, and this woman said, I don't look at the glass as half full or half empty. I look at it as refillable.
Always refillable.
That is so powerful. Yeah, you gotta make do, because life isn't always gonna be easy. And I commend you for taking that situation and bringing light and brightness to other people, especially growing up. I know that area. That's a rough area.
Yeah, it is.
But to you, that was just life. And sometimes we do take a route that maybe we shouldn't have, or maybe it was leading you to something else. Like, Me personally, I've been through quite a few things that a lot of people wouldn't believe if I told them, but I know and God knows.
Right.
But to come out of it and do something to show people, you know what, yeah, that did happen. Maybe I'm not proud of that, but look at what I'm doing with my situation. And that's amazing. So tell everyone, what's the name of the book and where can they find you?
Yeah, Past, Now, and What's Next, Volume 1. That's the name of this book.
And what's your email and phone number?
The email is the email is Fred Lee Publishing, all one word, Fred Lee Publishing @gmail.com. I think my Facebook page is Frederick Lee if you're looking for that. I got an Instagram and a Twitter, but I don't really use that Twitter because I thought tweeting was for, like gay people.
We will. I'm sure that we'll link that in there so that people can find you.
Yeah, I'll make sure that you have it and you can add it on there to it. And the phone number is 832-931-2638. I think. I'm bad.
We got you. We got you. Don't even worry about it. So I'm so thankful for you coming on to Number One Spot. Yeah. I do have a radio show on 95.3 Jams, which I would be honored to have you come on to tell your story for my listeners as well. Would you be open to that?
I love it. I love it. I was almost gonna stop you from talking and say, yeah, I'm on it. Put me in the mix. I can't wait to make it happen. I'm available 24/7, 365.
And I also want to thank Solo from the Number One Spot for giving people a platform to share ideas, to share their testimony, because people need that today, especially. It's so crazy that we have so many platforms, so many outlets to bring us closer, social media, but it almost feels like we're more further apart.
Yeah, I know, that's the weird thing. They developed these old different platforms for us to get together and FaceTime each other and see each other or whatever, but yet we're still so apart. It's amazing how you don't even see people until a funeral or something tragic happens, and then you don't see them no more after that.
Exactly.
And I'm that individual who, if I'm riding with you till the wheels fall out.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, so if you see me today and you want to see me tomorrow, I'm with it. Now I may not be able to see you the next day, but I'll see you the day after that.
So you're starting to get out in the spotlight, because this is going to be on Comcast Channel 17, AT&T U-verse Channel 99, and it could even be streamed live on hms.org. So how do you feel about getting out in the limelight? You ready?
The limelight needs to be ready for me.
Oh, I heard that. Get them shades on.
The limelight need to be ready for me, because I'm coming, and like I told you, I'm trying to heal the world, so I can't heal the world if I'm afraid. My heart don't pump no fear. Yeah, my heart don't pump no fear.
That's powerful.
So I'm ready. Hope they ready.
I hope they are too. Well, they better get ready.
If they ain't ready, if they ain't ready, they gonna get ready.
So thank you so much for being on the Number One Spot.
Thank you for having me.
It's your girl Rich Love from Rich Love Society. You can find me on Instagram. I'm everywhere, Facebook. You've tuned in to the Number One Spot. Thank you so much, Fred Lee, for being on. Go and be great.
Enjoy your life.